In our application up until now, we have 3 pages: timeline, activities, and progress. So we can navigate between these pages by using navigation links at the bottom of the page, as well as there are also a couple of links inside of the header which let us navigate to either the progress page or timeline page. But actually the logic which is responsible for navigating between pages grouped within one place. It is currently located within the root component. So let's switch over to the root component and determine which logic in here is directly related to the routing. So first of all, it is this constant current page, which holds current page name. Another thing is this normalize page hash function, which reads the current page hash and validates it, because later this hash will be used for navigation to a particular page. And then we also have a couple of events related to navigation in our template. First of all, it is this navigate event that we listen to on the header component, because after clicking on the links inside of the header component, we should be redirected to corresponding pages. And also listener for the same event is registered on the now component, because inside of the navigation, we actually have links to all the pages. So basically to navigate to a different page, we're using goTo function. So this goTo function is also directly related to the routing logic. And now we're going to create separate module where we're going to group all that logic that is related to navigation. So let's go ahead and create new file within the source folder. We're gonna call this file router.js. And now one by one we're gonna move all the functionality related to the routing from the app component into our new router module. So let's start from the current page constant. Let's extract this constant from the app file and move it to router.js. And then let's go ahead and move the rest of functionality. So goTo function should be also moved. Let's cut it from here and paste into router.js. But to simplify things for us, let's rename this function on navigate and export it. As we can see, there is also one ref which is used inside of navigate function called timeline, which is not currently available within this module because it is defined in the root component. As we can see, we are assigning this ref to the timeline component. So let's also move that constant timeline to router.js module, export this from here, and also to make it clear that this constant is going to hold reference to some Vue component, let's rename it on timeline ref. And now let's see what should be imported in this module. Since we're using the function ref, let's import it from the Vue package, as well as normalize page hash function, which should be imported from the functions module. And one more thing that should be imported is the page timeline constant. Let's import it from constants module. As we can see, this constant is used within the navigate function. And now let's not forget and also rename the ref timeline on timeline ref in this navigate function. So now back to the app component. Normalize page hash function is no longer used in here. We can remove this import. And instead what we're gonna do is to actually import all necessary things from the router module. So we need to know the name of the current page in this component, and the name is stored within current page constant. We're also going to need to call navigate function to navigate between pages. Let's import this function as well. And timeline ref, which is used in the template of this component. And since navigate function was previously called goTo, we need to scroll down to the template and rename goTo function on navigate. In this place, as well as in the navigate listener, we're registered on the now component. And since timeline ref was also renamed, let's correct it right here. And by the way, whenever we need to pass to our listener only event object, Vue can do it for us if we can simply specify a reference to the listener function, like so. So we don't need to explicitly pass event object into this function. And after doing all this refactoring, let's actually make sure that we can still navigate between pages by using navigation links, as well as those links located within the header component. As we can see, so far so good, we still can navigate between pages. And also, if we're going to click on the logo, we should be redirected to the timeline page, and at the same time the page should be scrolled to the current timeline item, which is exactly what is happening, so everything is working as expected. And by the way, if I'm going to specify an invalid hash of the page which doesn't exist, then after page refresh, the hash will be automatically changed on the hash of the page timeline. And this is also expected behavior. So we have successfully moved all the logic related to the routing in a separate module called router.js, and this way it will be easier to modify all the logic related to the routing in the future. And the link to the repository of this project will be in the video description.